boy. Hash info. I don't know what's going on with the other side of this. I'm not able to. Yeah. I have to contact YouTube support. There's something wrong with something. It could slightly be on my end, but I haven't changed anything, so this is on their end. Hello, good morning, and welcome to another morning show hosted by the greatest YouTube host. No, scratch that. Created by the most creative guy ever to grace YouTube's platform. I put out more content, more diverse content than any other channel in the world. If you can find a channel that has half the diverse content that this channel has, and then if you can find a channel that has even half the videos this channel has, come talk to me. Otherwise, I double everything you've ever imagined that's on YouTube times 10 in two ways. So it's times 20 multiplied by 2 equals a lot more than you're really thinking about. If you watch a YouTuber, now I want you to take a look, and you've been watching them for 2 years, maybe 10 years. Go back and see how many videos they made last year. And then go check how long their videos were. And then go check how much they edited their videos. And then go check how much of it was actually real, or they actually did themselves. Or mute the video and see if their actions or what they're showing is actually interesting, or were you just listening to the music in the background the whole time? You're gonna find a lot of those answers are very upsetting to you because, well, I'm right, and you don't understand what I'm getting at. But what I'm getting at is simplicity. And simplicity makes you watch things you may or may not want to stay watching. The simpler something is, I find, the longer the simple get hooked on it. I do not make simple content. My content is not driven towards children. When I speak, I do not try and capture the minds of children. I understand that 3/4 of the minds that watch YouTube are children-like. They may be 65-year-old men with a childlike mind. I do not wish to attract such goopers to my channel. So who is my channel for? Like, who do I direct my videos to? I don't have a good answer, because my answer is they're for everyone. One thing that they're not is for goobers, simple, small-minded people, whether you are young or old. I was fooled. I thought there was more to some people than there actually was. Simplicity was their middle name, I guess. I've got to get my slippers on. It's freezing here on the tile in the kitchen. What? My slippers aren't here. They're downstairs. Wait. Let me check the bedroom because it's closer. And if they are here, boy, I can do a 180 spin around. They're not here. So we're going to go downstairs. I've got my slippers. I got slippers, sandals down there. My wife calls my sandals stinky, so we're going to order my slippers, which are fairly stinky. Not quite full blown yet. Hey Bob. Hey Bob. Hi Bob. Slippers are on. I got paperwork to fill out today. A few other things. I've got to contact a lawyer and begin my next avenue, which is starting a class action lawsuit on Google and YouTube, so 2 class action lawsuits. My channel has been defamed You know, I can't look at it any other way. And during the course of the defamation, which went on for over 18 months, way more than that. 3 months times 6 is 18. Fuck. But it went on for, in between that, there was a span of about 26 months where they would periodically fuck over my channel, and it screws up everything in the algorithm. And I'm going to prove that, because the point of YouTube is for people to come here and create content for others to view, not for YouTube and Google to decide what content they want here that completely fit to the platform. But they decided, because some of the other channels that were out, mine was far better than, those channels were allowed to make videos, use my name, make videos. Now you definitely can't. Now I have lawyers on you in a second. But my problem was lied with YouTube, saying I drank alcohol on a YouTube live stream or smoking cigarettes. And they used that one 3 times to take away my channel. Another channel I used, I had 47,000 views on 5 videos in 2 days. I've never seen no one I've ever run into on YouTube has ever hit that milestone, or had 375 people one day and 585 people on a second day on my live stream concurrently for 4 hours staring at my feet. And I saw some of your names in there, and I'm pointing at you, #info subscribers. You guys walked over and sat in a live stream with feet. So, and you had no idea it was me. You had no idea what was really going on. But the point is you sat there. Now there's more to the story. But when I make a YouTube video, because I have a phone that has I had that muted, and I was making fun of you guys. Not specifically names, but I was going, you're in here. And I didn't realize at the time that, I thought maybe some of you would know, but no, you're all just very simple. You had no idea. And but that's fine. YouTube they say there's 2 billion users on this platform. I have yet to run into even 1 million people. And I mean, if there is 2 billion users, it's not 2 billion users. We'll talk about how I know it's not 2 billion users soon. YouTube can see daily activity of the entire platform. There's not 2 billion daily users active on this platform. But I will prove that in a court of law, because it falls under another area that I have with YouTube, and their lies and their cheats and their stealing has to stop. So they've pumped up and inflated some channels, horrible content, demeaning content towards women. Speaking of, like, I'll give you examples: Ice Poseidon, some really redneck channels on YouTube promote racism. You've got Confederate flag live streams, very racist. Like, I couldn't even believe the level of racism that was going on. You have many YouTube live streamers going live and shouting the N-word on live streams. You have women on live streams completely showing their boobs on live streams. This is the level of competency that Google staff has. They say, I'm smoking cigarettes, drinking alcohol. Meanwhile, there's a woman in her 60s showing her tits on a live stream, and she's got 47 viewers in her chat. Why does an elderly woman have 47 viewers? There's no words being spoken, but on her video, her boobs are out. The level of monitoring they do is designed to only monitor the ones they are watching. So the ones that speak in clear voice and speak and cast spells against the corporate evil that exists here on the internet, not here on YouTube, but the internet, period. It's amazing. My views on war, they're amazing. I don't want war. I say, if we got rid of all the old men in politics, there would be no wars to fight, for the young people to fight. They don't like that comment. I'm revamping my entire channel. I'm getting rid of best zombie player, this and that. I'm gonna put statements, pure perfect statements. And they're gonna be short and sweet. Thomas Jefferson on tyranny. Excuse me, pardon me. Somebody just shared my video. Thomas Jefferson on tyranny. Uh, you can't quote me on it, but what you can do is listen. Thomas Jefferson said, and I don't quote, but it's damn near perfect. There must be a revolution every generation. Otherwise, the government will make you fear them rather than the government fearing the people. If you have a revolution and you say, no, we won't stand for your laws, we strike them down. As soon as the reason they strike down the laws is because they pissed off every person in the village. So the mayor and his secretary and the other one, those three, go back to the office, lock the door, call the cops, and say, hey, can you guys keep them from coming in here? Because it sounds like they want to override us. And we don't want them to override us. So can you bully them into bowing down? And the people say, look, we have nothing against you, police. Can you move out of the way? We're not going to hurt anyone. We're just going to simply kick in this door and fire and evict these people from office. And this is what happens. This is they call it a coup. It's not called a coup. This is a fucking revolution. You kick the fucking people out that were stealing your money when it should have went to your hospital beds, buying respirators. Do you know what they do? They give themselves tax breaks and they give themselves bonuses. When COVID started. So this is all scam. This is all a scam. I'm not talking about COVID. The system that's created by politicians to govern and control us and to put us into submission. It's a scam. Do you know who created this system? The royals. The royals have been doing this, what I'm talking about, forever. They created this, it's colonization. They call it respect. Well, it's not respect when the government doesn't respect the people's rights. Human rights. We're not talking about human rights. Falls under proclamation, declaration. I'm going to read this to you. I'm going to define this because this is what it falls under. And you don't understand what I'm saying. One day I will be one of the most powerful politicians and I will strike down laws very soon. And I will teach the rest of the other countries how it's done. I will jail every CEO that runs a corporation crooked and corruptly in the world. And I'll bring them to Canada. And I'll make them spend the rest of their existence in a cage here. This I swear to you. No one has the mind that I have. I've acquired this on my own with the good help of good men and women from my past and my present. My future will guide me straight to the top, not because I want fame, but because I want law and order. And I want law of man. And I want order for the people. None of this is going to side or better corporation. There will be a lack of government when I am done, and you will be a lot happier. I'm going to pull this up here quick. It's very important that you understand everything that I'm saying. You're going to have to watch this about 10, 15, 20 times a day for the rest of your life. Hopefully in about 20 years, a part of this sinks in. They have dumbed you down so bad. All you do is go and pick up a remote, you loaf on your couch, you're a lazy boy, and you sit there. You have done nothing for humanity. Remember that. Proclamation. I might be missing a word, but this The Proclamation of 1763. Let's see what this says. Oh no. Proclamation of the British. Proclamation of 1763 was issued by the British at the end of the French and Indian War, to appease Native Americans by, I'm not, that's not how I feel about, I don't call them that. They're beautiful, brave people of the land, and I love you. War to appease Native Americans by checking the encroachment of European settlers on their lands. So proclamation was to check the encroachment. So I'll give you an example of what encroachment means in 10 seconds. Here in Manitoba, this is the province of Manitoba, 100 years ago, the First Nations people, the people that were here way before the scumbag Europeans, the First Nations people they took care of Manitoba. They were scattered all over Manitoba. Tribes, towns, villages, cities, however you want to word it. Whatever redneck term or European scumbag white man term you want to use for a city or a village, use it. There was villages all over. People, communities were being built, were going on back 100 years ago. Now you have nothing close to a community. You might have, on your block, you might have 2 community members that are community oriented. The rest are loafers, Netflix pros. These are bosses of remote controls. Goofs, period. So 100 years ago, there was villages all across the land. Loafing loafers is a great way to put it. And you know what happened? 100 years later, they forced the First Nations people into this section, into this bottom corner of Manitoba right here. This is where you see all those people now, and it is despicable. It is despicable that this was allowed to occur, and we'll have to be giving them back their land real soon. We may have to move to another area. I believe would be proper at this stage. We have really fucked up. We need to apologize and let them have their villages back. That's the area they have now. 100 years ago, this was their area. Now they're only allowed here to build and their homes and have what, the way that land is treated now isn't the way the First Nations people lived. Anyone could build a house anywhere. Here. You could live here. You could live there. You could build a house here. What you couldn't do is create a government here, a police station here, a corporation here, and then 50,000 apartment buildings here, and then 40 super centers here for groceries. Get rid of all the farming land and just bring in super centers. So you're forced to buy food. And any farmland there is, all this is straight farmland in Manitoba. It's owned by the Queen of England. If you want a piece of farmland, you can have one. She'll rent you a piece. You'll pay her. She will tax the shit out of your farmland, and you'll make maybe 30% of whatever your 100% of your work. At the end of the year, she may give you 10, 20, or 30%. Oh, but wait, you got to pay rent, mortgage, and utilities. And she can't stop jacking up that gas price. She loves to take all your money. By the end of the year, you have profited, and you're able to save 1% of all your year's hard earnings. You take in 3 days. If you worked as a farmer, you work every single day. She gave you 3 days of pay, and she took 362 days. This has got to stop. And if you think I'm playing, when I get on something, once I start waking you stupid fucks up, there's no turning back. You're forward. You're now thinking. Right now, you are absolutely dumb as shit. Wake up. There should be 50,000 of these channels. Right now on YouTube, Only in Winnipeg. There should be 50,000 YouTubers in Winnipeg saying the exact same thing I am. You want to know why? Want to know why? Tiny balls. Small brain. That remote in their hand. Grow a pair, learn, and throw a fucking hammer through the black mirror. Quick. Go out and do it. I'm so sick of people being so stupid. And you think you're an adult and you're just stupid. So many people have failed at the game of life. Was you were supposed to get smarter. After you were a kid and stopped pissing the bed, you were supposed to get smarter. You failed at the game of life. Period. It's not proclamation, declaration. What the hell was the one with? It's something Martin Luther King. Let's see if I can pull this up through. If Google will help me here. Martin Luther King. Is it proclamation? Emancipation. Proclamation. No, Emancipation Proclamation. So this is Martin Luther King. Emancipation Proclamation. Proclamation Declaration is fucked. It's anything that any book written by a historian with a white man's name, burn it. And honestly, if you are reading a Europeans writing, burn it. They're liars. Decreed by I'm a European, but I'm not a liar. I am a truth seeker, and I found the truth that I was taught in schools was truly all lies. Once I got to Google, once I heard the cover-ups by the Smithsonian Museum worldwide, are you fucking kidding me? They teach you in school about Christopher Columbus? Wow! The lying starts when you were a child. And here's the kicker. Your fucking parents believe this shit. The only ones, the only people are the young because of Google. And there's not enough of us. There wasn't, and I say the young people, I'm not young anymore. When I used Google, when Google came out, I was the first Google users on the platform. It had just been created. I fucking wore that thing out in the first day. It was like the fucking Google. Like, I don't know if you ever seen a pair of tires that are just worn out, blown tires. That's what Google looked like when I was done with it. $19.99. I got this $4,000, twice as much as this bitch. I got a computer worth twice as much as the one sitting right here. And this thing is this thing is a Ferrari compared to my Fiero. Like, if you go pull out my old computer, it's a Fiero that is like scrap metal compared to this thing, right? But we're talking 22 years later. Listen to this. I get on Google and I start learning. And then I hang around with people then twice my age, easy twice my age. I'm 18, 19, 20, hanging around with 50-year-olds. No shit. And I don't get older than that, but just to give you an idea, 20, is 2.5 times my age at a 50-year-old. And these dudes could grow. I mean, these guys had bikes, basements, attics, closets, garages, sheds, backyards. They could grow. And then we'd go for rips. We'd rip, we'd come back, we'd grow, we'd go for rips, And I remember thinking how smart they were. But their schooling and their history knowledge was all wrong. So, and this is all happening in real time for me. So I'm learning the truth, the facts. My idols at the time are absolutely what I think genius level. I know no one. I've never even heard of a person as smart as the people that I used to hang around with. And I know genius people that finished second level education, engineering degrees, did never use them because they make more money with their hands, carpentry, different things. I'm not going to get into it. Hundreds of thousands of dollars a year these people make, way more than the corrupt, working for themselves on top of this. So now I'm going to tell you a story. I'm sitting down. I'm the youngest person at the table. We're playing cards. We're playing poker. It's a Friday or Saturday night, and questions are being thrown around, tossed around. Just, men and women, but there's only guys there. So men, I'm saying men because there was no hot chicks that are really smart at this poker game that night. We, the men, that night are having, and I'm not sexist, that women are smart as men. Women live longer than men usually. There's a lot of things women are better at than men. Being kinder, usually, not always. Some men have been beat down, beat by their dad, pushed around. They don't want to be mean anymore, right? So as long as you don't use any physical aggression towards them or raise your voice really loud, you're going to have a hard time poking a bear. Even if he is a bear, there's so many good men that don't, women, if a man or someone else yells at a woman, you watch their reaction, right? Women will blow their shit right fast. A man is used to getting yelled at, right? Which is absolutely wrong. Don't do it. If you're a woman yelling at a man, or if you're a bitch dude yelling at a man, don't do it. One day that man's he's gonna snap. You're gonna make a man snap. What do you think is gonna happen? It's physical abuse when you yell at someone. So I'm sitting at a poker game. It's more abusive to yell at someone, especially if you've done it 10 times, than for me to knock the shit right out of you one time. Because you did it to me 10 times. I've only knocked you once. And when I knock you, trust me, you'll wish you never said nothing to me ever. So I'm sitting at this game, and I'm the youngest. I'm a baller. I'm a fairly good sized dude. I am the fittest dude at the table, and I can jump twice as high as any of these dudes, which means even if you are taller than me or a little bit, I'm gonna jump at you, grab you by your ears, and fling you across the room in one spin, and which is called a hurricanrana. If you didn't know what I was getting at, it's called a hurricanrana, and you'd be done. You'd be done. The power in my legs is incredible. And yes, I have hurricanranaed someone before, and it's amazing, and it's like a catapult. You do not want to be on the other end. The guy cried for 4 years. He still can't sleep. Here we go. Listen to this. The poker game takes a turn. It starts turning into like a betting game on who's right or not. And there's two guys, both of them are wrong, and they put $50 up to whoever one other person can figure out who's right at the table. One person gets to keep the 50. Like whoever can, out of us that are left, can decide between us, like quickest and which one of them is right, gets one of the 50s, and the person who had told the right answer gets the 50, right? So the only loser is the person who's wrong, right? So, and I know right away they're both wrong, and I can prove it. So I'm like, because I understand both of their conversations, but I'm like, this guy's missing this guy's missing the issue of the nitrogen topic, and this guy's missing the issue of the chlorophyll and the sugars and the photosynthesis topic. And I'm like, oh! And this has come up like 9 times. I'm a pro at this. I've literally been trimming for 2 to 4 years with other dudes having this conversation. This is what led me to Google it later on when I got a computer. So, and I'm a boss. Like, we were doing stuff way before you were born that you're not even gonna. You might check out on like the last days of your life existing. You may learn about that finally for the first time in your life, right before you die, and then it's like, dead. Literally me, 16, 17, 18, 19, we were discussing this, and I figured it out. I solved, not like it's solved, it's out there, but go try finding 15 people you know that even one person has this answer. You won't. And I'm not going to, you need to go work out yourself what you understand about plants. And when you realize you know nothing, start learning. So I am telling the one guy, I'm like, you're partially right. He's like, well, and the other guy's like, no, it's not. And I'm like, just wait. I said, you're partially right, and I'll tell you why. So I go into great detail, and I start from the beginning of a plant's life in veg, and I explain to him that theory, or your so-called theory, it's wrong, so it's a theory, doesn't apply to the flowering state, and here's why. So I tell the other guy, you're right, but yours only applies to the flowering state and doesn't apply to the veg state. So you're both wrong. And I grab both the monies and I put it in my pocket. And they both stand up at the table. One walks me, and the guy's small, and I just literally tripped him and pushed him back to the left. Next guy, it was his house. I look at him and I say, look, you're both wrong, and I explained it, and I took the money. He's like, yeah, but that wasn't the deal. One of us was I said, if you're both wrong, I'm taking both 50s. I said, do you have a problem with that? And he looked at me and goes, no, but if I find out you're wrong, I'm like, dude, you guys are twice my age. I just perfectly explained it. My buddy stands up at the table. He's a giant. And he looks at them and he goes, do you have a problem with my best friend? And I go, buddy, no. Because as soon as this guy's going to snap, the whole house is done. I look at him and I'm like, just give me 5 seconds with this guy. Please, God, 5 seconds before you put his Mr. Potato Head ears on his feet. Give me 5 seconds. You see what you did here? Look at me. I'm right. Can you hypothetically disprove what I just said to you about the flowering state? Because it's the dick with the flowering state to the veg state. And he's like, no. I said, did it make sense to you? Did it make sense when I said to that guy that the veg made sense to him? Why are you missing that the plants don't uptake like that in flower? And he goes, it's not that I don't, it's that this and this, and if you look in this dictionary here, and he pulls out like a Webster's dictionary with like the most ancient British analogy of plants you could ever imagine. Just a goof comment in a Webster's dictionary under this one word. And I'm like, dude, that's a part of the plant's like system, but it's not even close to its full cycle. Like it's not the full, and you're missing it. And how can you be that stupid that you're going to take out 75% of, like, I'll give you a different example. Power intake and exhaust is the full cycle of a combustion engine. He literally wanted to pull out power. So it was like so it wasn't able to actually get that spin. I'm like, dude, this can't exist. If you pull out this, then it has no uptaking system. And he's like, and if you slow it, it's there, but it's way slower. And it still allows for what you're saying happens all the time to exist, but you literally want to pull out the uptaking system. And he's like, yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. How did you come up with that? I'm like, well, fuck, like, I worked it out. Like, it's a path. It's a living creature. Like, a plant is a living creature. If a doctor and a researcher can work out how your body works, why the fuck would we not be able to work out how a plant system works, right? And if you're me and you've been to 40 dudes' houses last week and you've seen the way each one of them stressed or burned their leaves, then shit's pretty simple, isn't it, bud? Less is more. I'll see you on the next one. And you know what? There's so